In my last video about how to move to Switzerland, I explained that I would make a video on the living costs of Switzerland. Actually, my living costs in Switzerland. So if you're interested in moving to Switzerland, in my previous video and also in this video, there's a link in the description down below that links to a web shop where you can buy a guide, a PDF file with a step-by-step guide how to move to Switzerland from an EU country. So the first thing, and probably the most expensive thing, is rent in Switzerland. I currently live in a 97 square meter apartment with a personal garage and a storage unit in the apartment complex next to the garage. And I pay 2,400 francs a month in the Zürich canton. So I am 20-ish minutes from the Zürich center, which is not bad actually, by car of course. And this only includes a washer, a dryer, and a fully equipped kitchen. So I know that in some countries in Europe it's not normal to get a kitchen and a washing and a drying machine. With the apartment in Switzerland it is. Then the second most expensive thing and cost that I pay every month is health insurance. So a private health insurance for myself, it really varies on how you put together your package. I have a let's say a middle package, so I have some extra benefits that I selected, so not the worst one, but also not the best one, because I'm literally never ill, never go to the hospital, that kind of stuff. But I like to take precautions, so I took the middle level, and I pay 350 francs a month for that. So besides the rent of 2,400 francs, I pay 350 francs of health insurance. Then of course we have internet and your mobile phone. So for the internet connection, I pay 60-ish francs a month, which is for 10 gigabit up and download internet fiber connection speed in my house. Of course, you don't need that fast of internet. I do for my videos, but also for my work, because I work in IT. So I pay 60 something francs for that. And then I have an additional 60 francs for unlimited internet and calling and texting on my phone in the entire of Europe. So you also don't need that if you're not traveling a lot. So I pay 120 francs a month for, in general, internet and connectivity for my phone, etc. Next thing is, of course, mandatory insurances for your house. So I have like a household insurance for fire, theft, losing your keys, that kind of stuff. Which is, then I have a coverage for a lawyer, Rechtsschutz. So anytime you have a conflict, you have at least some kind of lawyer covered. And I have that coverage for everything. So for traffic, for personal matters, etc., which costs me additional 15 francs a month. And I own a dog, which means that I have to pay, again, also 15 francs a month for health insurance for my dog, and additional 15 to 20 francs, an additional 5 to 10 francs a month for the taxes for my dog. So it's 60 francs a year plus minus. I'm not going into taxes on income because this varies per canton, per municipality in Switzerland. So depending on where you live, the taxes can be higher or lower. So it doesn't really make sense for me to go into details regarding taxes, but know that this is also somewhat of an expense, I would say. Then we have trash, because trash you have to pay separately for stickers, the trash that you throw away, which is for me, I think around 10 francs a month, maybe max. I have like 2 trash bags a month, something like that I throw away, which I have to pay for, and a sticker is like a couple of francs. I'm not sure how expensive exactly, and it depends on how much trash you produce, I would say. I don't produce that much trash, so I would say that 10 francs a month for trash is not bad at all. So for energy and water, I've been here for 4 months, and for these 4 months I only had to pay 25 francs. That's not a lot at all, and I have a lot of recording equipment, but I have to say that all the lights and everything, all my devices in my house are A++ marked, so that means that they use very little energy, and most of the lights in my home are LED lights. That means that I'm not wasting a lot of, well, not using a lot of energy nor water. And of course we have food. So I'm by myself, I'm a big guy, I exercise a lot, so I eat a lot. More than an average person, because I'm 6'5" and I weigh 100 kilos and I fitness a lot, so I'm you know, a diesel truck needs diesel. So if you cook every day, which I don't do, I usually cook during the week, and during the weekends I go out for dinner or something like that, depending on what kind of mood I'm in. But in general, groceries, so everything combined, food, but also cleaning supplies, etc., is costing me currently 330 francs a month. So then you have transport. This is really depending on your situation. And of course the distance that you need to travel to work. So if you travel to work by public transport like I do, I currently have to pay 20 francs a day to go to work and back. So both ways, 20 francs a day. But soon my new car will be here, so subscribe to the channel if you want to see the revealing of my new sports car. Gonna make a bunch of videos on that as well. But yeah, for public transport right now I pay 20 francs a day, which means like roughly between 300 to 400 francs a month for public transport to go to work and home again. Depending on what kind of car you're buying, if you're buying it cash, leasing, etc., your costs can go up a month. So soon I will have my new car, which will cost me, insurance on that is 130 francs a month for full insurance, and the taxes are around, I think it was like 20 or 30 francs a month, something like that, which is not a lot, but you have to pay it per year, so you have to calculate everything a month again. But that, I would say, are all the regular costs I pay per month for living in Switzerland. You can make it more luxury or less luxury depending on if you want to use a car or if you want to use public transport. If you have like Netflix, Spotify and all those other things, you're probably gonna add up some money to that as well. But in general, these are the biggest expenses that I have, and the regular expenses that I have, which is, in my opinion, not that bad considering I come from the Netherlands. And I basically, except for rent, had the same amount of costs. I didn't really feel that Switzerland is really that more expensive, except for when you go out for dinner. Yes, that is more expensive, but groceries and that kind of stuff is mostly the same price, which is kind of funny since everyone in the Netherlands told me, oh, you'll see that how expensive it is, it's not worth it to move. It is. I've been here for 4 months and it definitely is, because my income increased by 3 since the taxes are lower. I also earn more money because the standard of living here is higher, while my costs only got increased by, I would say, maybe 15%, roughly. So yeah, I made a good move by going to Switzerland. Now, of course, these are only the basic costs. I know that you, as I said, you have Netflix, Spotify, probably some kind of things that you have as well. Then you have, of course, going out for dinner with friends, going out clubbing, that kind of stuff. That will add up as well. But if you keep that like at a minimum or at a normal level, then these should be your main costs, and you can take that in account when you're looking for a new job and you're calculating your wage. Then you can see, okay, I will have that much money left spare per month to either save up, enjoy life, or do whatever the hell you want with it. Couldn't come up with more things. If you have questions regarding cost of Switzerland or cost of living in Switzerland, and there's something particular that I didn't mention that you want to know, then please do. I'm happy to answer your questions, and if there's more questions, I can maybe make a second part of this. But yeah, these are my costs of living in Switzerland. Now I know that I am living quite, I would say, not the average life. I have a pretty big apartment for someone who's living alone currently. I of course have my dog, which is an extra additional cost, and I have a luxurious car, which is again an additional cost. So I'm living above average, and I know that, so I could save up more money, and not everyone can afford this particular lifestyle, but this will give you an idea on how much I spend, and from there on you can calculate a bit less or a bit more depending on your personal situation. I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I see you guys in the next video, which will probably be my car unveiling. See you next one. Ciao.
Perfect.